good? All right, we'll call the regular meeting of council October 24th, 2022 to order. And can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please? With additional 12C.
I motion to approve the agenda with addition of 12C donation request to the Pop Fund.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any questions? Comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you. So we need a motion to adopt the minutes from our September 21st, 2022 regular meeting of council.
I move to adopt the minutes of the September 21, 2022 regular meeting of council.
Seconder?
Seconded.
Any errors or omissions? All those in favor of the adoption of the minutes from September 21, 2022, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you. Public input inquiries. I don't think we have any tonight, do we? I'm aware of.
Unless one of these guys want to say something.
Hmm?
Unless one of these guys want to say something.
So we have nobody? No? Okay. Disclosures, council? No disclosures. All right, reports from Chief Gross for Fire Department.
Mayor, council, public. As you can see, September we run 23 runs in total. And according to the first system, it says it's 168 to date. Or to that for September, up to September. We're actually up to 176 as of today's. Any questions on that?
Nice to see the fire department out for our Spook Fest celebration. Especially nice to see the ladder truck. A lot of the public have never seen that before. So it was certainly
Yeah.
really
and
sharp to have that there.
Kids really enjoyed it as well for lighting up the play area.
That was a big hit.
You're right, eh?
Now we got to do that every Friday night.
It was certainly a big
They
thing.
enjoyed that. No, the fellows had a good time as well. It's great to get out and mingle with members of the public, show them what we have and so on.
Cooked a lot of hot dogs.
Cooked a pile of hot dogs.
Well, you guys did an amazing job.
Well, man. Good bunch of people was working. They were working too for a while.
I know, I noticed that.
Oh, that's great though. That's
Chief, before you move on, about this report, does this seem abnormally high volume?
Was he gonna mention anything?
uh,
I mean, it seems to be a record to me, but I don't know.
23 for the month.
Yeah.
It's up there. It's up there. Accidents and also we had a few calls with trees on power lines and such.
I see that there.
Okay, and a lot of alarm calls. So in a few accidents, we had 2 fire calls, I guess, last month. One in Lake George, follows half ton, working on it in the garage. And had trouble light laying on the center dome. Fired her up, one of the ejectors for leaking, and squirted gas onto a hot light bulb. Buddy was right there with him. They hooked chain on the front of the truck and hauled it outside the garage, so no damage to the building. Front of the truck, well, the truck's destroyed. Then we had one out in Lloyd Burgoyne's out on Harvey Road, Newmarket. Okay. Cedar Mill, where he had the cedar mill, he does metal there now. And they were cleaning up, and burning some pallets and stuff, and didn't tend the fire. Once it caught on to that old building, especially the mill part, our job then was basically protecting exposures.
Yeah,
Because,
she was gone.
It was gone.
yeah,
Like a
that
tinder
was
box.
Cedar mill they had. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But no, that, there were the only 2 fires in September, which is fine, don't want fire.
That's right. Fewer the better. Any other questions for Chief Crouch?
Those that are pending investigation, how long does it take for the fire marshal to make a determination?
Actually, them fires were cut and dried, I'm not sure how they put it
Okay.
on their side of it. I'll ask Mark that. And everyone got a copy, we've done a design, a couple different designs there for crest. We look them over and give us your thoughts.
What was one here?
This is the one here.
Do you have?
Everybody got this in their package?
Pass this over.
It's in your
I
package.
got it in the mail. Pass that here. You got me.
So council, what we really need to decide with this, once we take over the fire services in January from the province, do we want to keep Upper Kingsclear, put Upper Kingsclear / or hyphen Hanwell Fire Department? Do you want to just change it to Hanwell Fire Department? Because one, the badges will have to change. And we're doing the first reading by title under 17A for our bylaw that I drafted. So we kind of need to know what you guys want to do, but
What would the fire department prefer?
They'd like to see Upper Kingsclear left in there because as of next year, 60 years they've been in
yeah,
the works.
Should this wait until we have the new council?
it can't.
It has to be done now. So I'm going to vote we leave the Kingsclear where it is.
I think that it should be like Upper Kingsclear hyphen
I like it.
Hanwell or
I
whatever.
like the one where the handle is crossed in a straight line across the
If you fellows
bottom.
are happy, it's
Yeah.
your favorite, I'll vote for it.
Yeah, that looks good.
That has both in it, yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
so, I mean, this part of it, the
Correct.
if it's going across or if it's going to circle or whatever, that doesn't matter. We just kind of need to determine if we're going to call it the Upper Kingsclear Hanwell Fire Department or leave it as Upper Kingsclear or leave it as Hanwell, but I don't think that we should lose the identity of our fire department,
No.
which is the Upper
No.
Kingsclear,
It's been-
regardless of what entity we're
How
going
it
to be.
look, I can find out to get Colin to redo it. What would Hamel look like up top and then Upper Kingsclear wrapped around the bottom?
I prefer.
I don't know.
I think this is good because this is wide, right?
Well, I
So,
know, but I could live with that better because I may be the only one, but I'm not really in favor of keeping
In favor of what?
of keeping the Kingsclear
it.
Park.
I'm not.
Can I
I
ask?
mean, that's fine, but I'd be a little bit more, I just have a problem with it.
It's fair, the community's handle.
So this
I mean, I
is,
could understand keeping it for the year or doing whatever, but
Transition period, yeah.
making the whole sale change, and saying this is how it's gonna stay forever. It's an unfortunate timing. I get the part about the 60 years and whatever. but-
yeah. So that's kind of fair.
Okay, Councillor Heisler.
I have 2 questions. One is this going to be in keeping with our branding, which we adopted in 2016, 2015, 2016? All the
Well-
colors and all of that
Well,
stuff,
our trees and all that is our branding that will be in there.
but all the colors. We also had it had to be certain colors when we were doing stuff, does that? So that's one question. My other question is, and I'm kind of with Susan on this one, or Deputy Mayor Joan on this one. I'm fine with it being there for the 60th and then transitioning it out because I don't want to set a precedent that everything we do is going to be Upper Kingsclear Hanwell, Upper Kingsclear Hanwell.
Yeah, that's just the fireside though.
Yeah, but we also don't have island viewing here, right? So I'm just a little bit concerned about that kind of part of it, when we're going to be known as Hanwell. That's my only concern.
No, I agree, and that's something I didn't think was still not, should happen. I know we'd like to have it happen by the first of the year, but to do up a proper crest and stuff, because we put everything on hold as well, like all of
Exactly.
our crest on our uniforms and stuff will have to change, and either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we leave it as it is for until the 60th has come and gone, and then look at wholesale change after that? Would that make sense?
I'm fine
If
with
you
it.
guys are okay with that, so number 17A on your agenda, then for the bylaw, it's going to be a bylaw respecting the Upper Kingsclear Fire Department, okay?
That's approved here too, actually.
Okay. Yeah, because I just had a note on mine, just that if we decided to change it, that we need to change it here, but.
And this will give new councillors time to have a say as well, so.
Yeah, and if we changed all the crests now, and things like that, and then change them again a year down the road, I mean, it's cost money to change all this now, and if we're only gonna hold it temporary for a year, you know, why go to all that work,
Agreed.
money, changing the crests and the emblems and coat of
Yeah.
arms and all that stuff, and then change it again a year down the road, it kind of.
Yeah, well, that's it, no, we don't wanna flip back and forth.
Yeah, so we could kind of, I don't know if the council agrees with that, we could leave it the way it is for a year, and then revisit it when we have our full council.
When is the 60th? It's celebrated for the year, but is there a specific month that we're celebrating?
When did we do the last one?
July.
July.
So you're looking at July 2023, we have 60 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, so by October
And
next
you
year.
gotta look at that part of it as well, people. And you got 60 years experience for protection and growth and equipment and people. I already got 5 years, so.
Yeah, 60 years for a
When it
department's quite a
comes
milestone.
to dealing with other fire departments,
It means something.
it does mean something.
Yeah.
So we got all that to look at, and I got members to convert to. I get 55 to convert.
Yeah.
So I'm in favor of postponing for a year, relook at it in October next year.
Okay, so that's fine, we'll just, we won't change the logos on the trucks and all of that stuff, and we'll do my new bylaw, we'll do it as the Upper Kingsclear Fire Department. And in the definitions, I actually have that, like, the department is like the former, in Hamel, but the former, Upper Kingsclear Fire Department, so it kind of references both of them, so.
And in the meantime as well, on the trucks, speaking of trucks, I see nothing wrong with putting a Hamwell across just above the crest, do you?
No, it's only some stencils. That'd be something simple.
But that's,
Yeah, that'd be easy to do.
yeah,
No, it's just an add-on, it's not actually
That's
changing
right.
it.
not changing anything, and just above the crest on the doors of the vehicles,
Sure.
don't have Hamwell.
Yeah,
Yeah, makes sense.
sounds great, be great.
It's a great compromise.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we'll just hold off until next year,
To change it.
But
after the 60th anniversary
we'll
and
table,
stuff.
that's right. In October is my recommendation, we relook at this and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have to do the bylaw though to take over fire services.
Right,
yeah.
Yes, that's-
Yeah. So the fire, I'll just give you, before we get to the 17, I've done the draft bylaw the weekend and sent it off to Chief Kraus and to the province to make sure that the minister is okay with everything that I had in there before the services are transferred. So hopefully we'll hear from them, and then I will forward it to you guys.
Any other questions, discussion? Can I get a motion to receive fire department report from Chief Crouch?
I move to receive the fire department report for September 2022 as presented.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
No problem.
Thanks, Chief.
Have a good evening,
Thank you.
everyone.
You too.
Thanks, Chief Crouch.
Yeah. Chief.
Okay, we're looking at item 7A, presentation by RSC 11.
Hello.
Hi, Robert. How you doing tonight? So you're gonna do a presentation for the Randy Perkins
Yeah.
property?
Yes, I will.
Okay, so I'll turn things over to you. Can you hear us all right?
Can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, because you keep cutting out, that's why I was wondering.
Because the mics are on there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Randy Perkins, similar to or compatible with application. And the subject is bringing this to the Rural Community of Hanwell Council for their recommendation to the Planning Review and Adjustment Committee of the RSC 11 for the consideration of a gym facility as being similar to or compatible with uses in the commercial and light industrial zone under the Rural Community of Hanwell Rural Plan. So the applicant, Randy Perkins, has a building located at 78 Millennium Drive. He has been approached by someone that would like to lease 3,000 square feet to locate a gym in the facility, and that zone actually didn't have a gym listed in it. So the information I have on the gym is it's members only, with operating hours of Monday to Friday, 5:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., and on Saturdays from 8 to noon and closed on Sundays. I don't know if you had a chance to look through the attachment. You just want to go to attachment A. And so keep in mind. So that's the application that was given to us with a bit of the information about the forms that the applicant would like to have. And attachment B also shows all of the uses that are permitted in the commercial and industrial zone. So the property has an area of 5,549 square meters. It's located at the end of a cul-de-sac. Eastern fence limited is to the north of the property, and to the south lies the vacant lot. To the east, across Millennium Drive, is office space such as Southwest Entrepreneur and Cobblestone Development. So it's not in the industrial part of the park, it's more in the office side of the park. And there's no wetlands there. So this notification of this application was sent to property owners within 100 meters of the property, and I have not heard from anybody at all. No email and no phone call. I'm not sure if anybody has approached the office at all for any more information.
No, they didn't.
Okay, thank you. So to permit this application, approval must be received from the PRAC of RSC 11, and staff of RSC 11 is requesting comments from the Rural Community of Hanwell Council prior to PRAC making its decision, and a PRAC meeting is tomorrow evening. So one of the objectives of the Hanwell Rural Plan is to foster a sense of community wellness and rural character, a good quality of life, and develop more public opportunities for active living. And I know that's really important in the Hanwell Rural Plan. So that objective, again, really does go back to what the Hannibal Rural Plan is. It has a lot in it for wellness and active living. So just before I get to the recommendations, I'm just wondering if there are any questions about any of the attachments, the map. Since I'm not there to show them to you on the screen.
Good.
No, everybody seems good, Robin?
Perfect. So the recommendation, staff recommends that the Rural Community Panel Council recommend that the Planning Review and Adjustment Committee of the RSC 11 allow the use of a gym facility as being similar to or compatible with uses in the commercial and light industrial zone, TLI zone of the Rural Community Panel Rural Plan, bylaw number 11-2016, subject to the following terms and conditions. 1, that a building permit be obtained from RSC 11 Planning and Development Division before any renovations are started. 2, that all signs be in accordance with the applicable provisions of the annual signage bylaw number 10/2015. That parking be in accordance with applicable provisions of section 3.3 of the Rural Community Panel Rural Plan. And 4, that the gym facility adheres to all requirements of applicable acts and regulations. And that's my presentation.
Okay, any other questions for Robin?
Just an administrative one. Do we vote before PrAC? Or does it go to PrAC first and then us?
Well, we're voting before practice time.
I know, but I'm wondering, is that right though? Is it the right steps?
That is how we always do it.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, thank you.
We're only making a
We're making a recommendation.
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, we're good? Now, can I get somebody to do the motion 7A?
I move that the Rural Community of Hannibal Council recommend that the Planning Review and Adjustment Committee of the Regional Service Commission 11 allow the use of a gym facility as being similar to or compatible with uses in the commercial and light industrial zone, CLI zone of the Rural Community of Hannibal Rural Plan, bylaw number 11-2016, subject to the following terms and conditions. 1, that a building permit be obtained from Regional Service Commission 11 Planning and Development Division before any renovations start. 2, that all signs be in accordance with the applicable provisions of Hanwell signage bylaw number 10-2015. 3, the parking being in accordance with applicable provisions of section 3.3 of the Rural Community of Hanwell Rural Plan. And 4, that the gym facility adheres to all requirements of applicable acts and regulations.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any questions? Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you, and thank you, Robin. Appreciate your time.
Robin, we'll get that done for you, first thing in the morning so that you have that motion number to take to PrAC tomorrow night.
Thank you very much.
Great, thanks, Ron.
Have a good evening.
Thank
Bye
you.
now.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay, item 8, building permit applications. We have 4. Oh, goodness, one in Upper Kingsclear, another one in Cabra Hill Lane, and one in Snowshoe Street, and another one in Timberland Court, which is the street down here just to the left as we're heading in the Hannibal Road, that one that's been paved for quite some time. I see they've got 2 houses in there started, so is this the first building permit we got on that street?
I'm not sure.
I don't think we've seen any other on
That's a good
Timberland.
point. Construction's already on the go, many of them.
Yeah, yeah. Something we may want to check out. I don't remember another one being in on Timberland, but
That is something worth investigating.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 houses already started.
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
I think, isn't it?
3,
Nope.
yeah.
3. I thought there was 2, but
Maybe 3.
could be another one since I was in. And I know we've talked to RSC 11, and they're going to review the values or the estimated values for them in the new year, because they're kind of overbooked right now with reform. So it's on their radar. So it's something they're going to be looking at in the new year. Okay, item 9, proclamations. We don't have any. 10, petitions and delegations. Nothing there. Item 11, business arising. That's the building exterior. Are we going to go into close on that?
Is that still on the agenda? Oh, that's, sorry. No, that's not on, it's not on your agenda.
Okay.
Those are just your motions, but it's not on, it's going to be in the closed session.
That's what I thought. It'll be handled in closed session.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are-
Okay, correspondence. We have a donation request from the Canadian Mental Health Association of New Brunswick. Has everybody had a look at that?
Before we jump into that, how much do we have left in the
We
donation?
have
budget?
2,000 left, and just remember, like, just because they
I
send
understand,
these
that's
or
what I
whatever,
meant.
but yes, I checked
Thank you.
right before our meeting, so.
So I'll call in our resident donations charitable expert to see what his thoughts are on this one.
I'm of two minds on this one, truth be told. Normally, as you've heard in the past, when it comes from a marketing company as opposed to from the charity or directly, it always concerns me, but this looks like it's maybe slightly different, because it is coming directly from them this time, and they're talking about producing something and then giving a donation, minimum of donation of $50,000 to be received by CMHA. I'm a little bit confused, to be honest. It looks like they're asking for, again, I wouldn't call this a donation. It looks like this isn't a donation request, it's an advertising
Yeah,
request.
it's on the back.
Yeah, it's an advertising request, asking us to advertise, and then they will make a donation back, which is sort of different, I think, from the other ones that we've had. So I guess the real question is, are we interested in doing an ad, again, which is similar to the other ones, or would we rather make a donation directly to the Canadian Mental Health Association of New Brunswick? Even though that's not what they're asking for in this, which is usually the case when we get something from Fenity Marketing.
Yeah, I actually, when she called me, I told her right up front, I said that most of these that we have been receiving, that council has been making the donation directly to the company and not doing advertisement, because we don't really have anything to advertise. I mean,
Right.
municipalities, so. She said that she completely understood as long as mental health got funding behind the thing, so.
I think it's important though to fund mental health, given the pandemic and what COVID's done to everybody's mental health.
And given the state of mental health
Yes.
within New Brunswick,
Yeah.
especially in young folks.
Yeah, I think it's important.
So we'd want to go
In
for
this case, I'd like to do the ad, because it supports the book. It's about getting, I know that getting the donation is good, but it's getting people aware and talking about it. I'd almost sooner do an ad. If it was me, but I'll back whatever the team goes here.
Yes, Councillor
So,
Fox.
I really appreciate that approach, Councillor Sutton. I believe that this booklet will be produced whether we do an ad or not, in this case. And so my preference would be to make a donation directly to Canadian Mental Health Association.
I'll cede, I'll go with it.
We just gotta kind of decide on how much. We got what,
We
2,000
need a
left?
motion.
Okay, so how about I'll move to accept the correspondence from the Canadian Mental Health Association of New Brunswick with respect to purchasing advertising, no, wait a second. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
Request to effect the purchasing of advertising space in the mental health awareness guide and authorize and direct the clerk to make a direct donation to the Canadian Mental Health Association of New Brunswick in the amount of $400.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any
Seems
questions?
reasonable with the amount we have left.
Any questions, concerns?
I
comments?
do, so this says respect to purchasing advertising space, and then you have direct to make a direct donation.
Yeah, it's because we're accepting that they sent us something about the advertisement space, but the action is going to be that we're gonna instead make the direct donation
Okay.
of $4.
Okay, sorry.
Everybody's clear? Any questions? Okay, all those in favor of making a $400 donation directly to mental health awareness, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded, motion carried. Thank you. All right, we have email correspondence from Randy Dickinson. And he's off the Accessibility New Brunswick, and he was out the other day for the opening of our trail, and he was certainly impressed with what we've done. Did everybody read this
I would read it to the
correspondence?
public.
Pardon?
I would read it
Yeah.
out to the.
So I'll just read it out anyway. I won't go through I'll just talk about, go to the body of the letter. It's, hi everyone. It was a great pleasure for my wife and I to attend the official opening of the Hanwell Accessible Nature Trail, which was very nicely done and will be a great example of inclusive recreational infrastructure for the use of all citizens regardless of mobility challenges. I was also very impressed with our tour of the municipal building with all of its well-designed accessible features, including even accessible showers in the public washrooms, designated parking for adapted vehicles like my own wheelchair accessible van, with a side entry ramp and community meeting spaces, a full kitchen, a wheelchair and walker in the lobby for use if needed, etc. As promised, I sent an email tonight to the Rick Hansen Foundation to let them know that your municipality had used their information to make a significant effort to create accessible facilities and will serve as a role model to other communities across New Brunswick. Thank you for doing so many concrete things to make municipal services available to all citizens, and thank you for inviting me to the event and all the friendly hospitality that my wife Karen and I enjoyed well there. Cheers, Randy Dickinson. So can I get a motion to receive that correspondence, please?
You receive the correspondence from the edition?
I'll second.
Questions? All those in favor of receiving the correspondence, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Thank you. Motion carried. All right, item 13A is the mayor's.
The donation.
Oh,
for the-
back
what
up.
we
Yeah,
read.
12C, getting ahead of myself. We got a donation request for the Poppy Fund. Has everybody looked at?
Sure, you want to put them on your chair.
Yeah,
No, I'm
paper.
sorry, I just need them on her chair. So this is the one that we get every year from the Legion, and it's the Fredericton branch number 4. And it's just asking for donations. All funds collected are held in trust with each Legion branch to directly support the veterans and their families within your community. Donations to the Poppy Fund are accepted year-round, and monies are donated back into our communities to support our veterans, local cadet corps, and other local agencies who support veterans. Examples are transition services for homeless veterans and Meals on Wheels. Your contribution to the Poppy Fund also supports student bursary program and aids the Legion branch service officers in assisting veterans. So I think, especially this year where we are installing a new Veterans Memorial Monument, and this year we will actually be having the service here and having the reception in the community hall. We'll be joining with the King's Clear organization, their committee, so.
So probably a wreath would be in order if it's going to be here for the celebration. Some of the,
We'll have to order these.
we'd have to order a wreath. So we just got to decide whether to go with the number 14 wreath or a number 20 wreath, and then have a motion accordingly.
So is this just for a wreath, or is this all they're asking for, or are we talking, does it have to
No,
make a
we
donation?
always buy a wreath regardless,
Regardless, yeah,
or
but we also
whatever,
usually make a donation.
but we usually make a
Make
donation.
donation also.
Yes.
So we need a motion for, obviously for a donation, and also to buy a
But we don't need one for a wreath.
Pardon?
We don't need one for a
Oh,
wreath.
no.
We buy
Okay.
one every year.
Yeah, okay.
And plus, we'll have to get additional ones this year for people to purchase.
So we just got to decide on the email. So we're looking at, yes,
Just
Councilor Fox.
a question, I'm just wondering if If the clerk knows what we gave last year?
I believe it was
I was thinking $500.
I believe it was
Yeah,
500.
I think it was
we did
500
last
also.
year.
And how, Councillor Heisler,
That was
that was
my
the question?
question
So
as well.
continue, Councillor Fox?
Well, this is a donation request. These are the ones I like to see, because it's very clear what it is, what it's for, and,
Where it's going?
yeah. So I'm very happy with this, and I would like to make a motion. Make a motion? Do I make a- I would like to make a
You're gonna have to fly.
motion that we make a donation to the Legion Branch for Fredericton in the amount of $500.
I'll second it.
Any questions?
Do we need to say that it's for the Poppy Fund?
I can, it'll be on the check anyway, like.
Okay, any other questions? All those in favor of making the donation to the Fredericton Branch 4 of the Royal Canadian Legion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded. Thank you, motion carried. All right, 13A Mayor's Report. Has everybody received that report? Can I get a motion to receive the report, please?
I move to receive the mayor's report as presented.
I'll second.
Yep. Okay, any questions?
I do. Canada Post, what
Yeah.
was that about?
That was a meeting with the representative from Canada Post on relocating the post office boxes down on Gorman Park. So they're looking at moving them from the side of the road to the end of the parking lot. Would be, the back would be facing Tara Ferris's house, or the stream there.
So they'll go like
Yeah.
along that way?
Yep.
Okay.
Any other
Thank
questions?
you.
No problem. Any other questions? No, yes?
I'm just curious about this Queen Elizabeth Scholar reception and what that.
Yeah,
what
that was,
entailed.
okay, that was a reception for the Queen Elizabeth Scholar Foundation. And they had, that was at the Government House. And they had a gentleman there that is in charge of it, so he spoke about it and what it was and where the funding and whatnot came from. And they also had 3 students there that were recipients of that $20,000 scholarship. And the scholarship is made up of $60 million, $20 million come from the feds, $20 million come from the provinces, and an additional $20 million come from private business. So it's the 3 students there all spoke about how it helped them with their education. One went to Africa, this country in Africa, another one went to one in South America. Anyway, they did a very nice talk, and they were very, they certainly appreciated the scholarship, and it said it helped them immensely. So it was quite interesting actually to partake in that.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor of accepting the mayor's report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded. Motion carried, thank you. Okay, committee reports, number 14, do we have 14? A did not meet. B, we have a communications report.
I move to accept the communication report as presented.
Seconder? Any questions, comments? All those in favor of receiving the communication reports as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded. Motion carries. Thank you, council. Next we have C, which is the economic development did not meet. Emergency measures, item D. We have a report from emergency measures.
Yes, so we met on September the 28th. One of our committee members is retired from MB Power, and he did a PowerPoint presentation on power outages, how each season, when we get an alert from the province or whatever, how the effect is like on the trees, if it's ice, if it's rain, if the ground is saturated and stuff like that. So it was a very good presentation that's going to help our EMO committee when determining when we need to activate and should get out alerts. So after his presentation, we also discussed about the generator usage, how to use them and store them correctly. And with winter coming on and possible storms and stuff, the EMO committee will be drafting a generator safety usage and storage, and we will share that in the winter edition of the Hamel Herald and put it out in our social media stuff as well, so. And then this week, on Wednesday, we're going to actually do a desktop exercise on logging stuff and what the different roles are for our committee members and how all of that comes into play.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion to receive the emergency measures report as presented?
I move we adopt the emergency measures report.
Second.
I have a question. So this person that gave that report there, from former member Carm, I believe he's the same person that a while back, I don't know if it was a year or so ago, maybe, he had talked either to the committee or did a presentation to Energy Power directly about why Deerwood substation, for some reason, was the only one that was left out of the redundancy coming off of Macaflag. Did we ever get any, did that ever go
We
anywhere?
didn't actually, I'm looking at our public member here because Chris is on my EMO committee as well. We talked about that briefly and he said that he hadn't really heard anything, but it was something he was going to ask about, so in the coming meetings or whatever we might have.
Yeah, it might be nice to kind of just poke them with that again and say what's going on.
Yeah, we actually, he mentioned he's gonna try to get our committee group to take a tour of that substation and stuff, so.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, all those in
So I
favor?
do have a question.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Are we going to do a sentinel test? I know I'm bringing it up, but it's kind of important that we get our testing done so we get squared. The last one didn't work out so well. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
That's what they're for.
Yeah,
So
we
we'd like to have more
had
tests.
talked about that too, but it's just, we
Scheduling.
don't have,
I understand.
and not only that, we really don't have hardly any people in Hamel. We are putting out a push at the Hamel Herald this month, has a push for the Kings Clear Island View area to sign up for Sentinel, so maybe once we can kind of get some more people as well, then.
But that's a fair point. We have the school, communications probably read something up and send it to every kid at school, and that'll probably help. But to the point, we don't have a lot of people in the system, so now's a perfect time to test, because it did fail the last time. We'd like to test it with the least amount of people, so it's perfect. Time now is a perfect way to move people. I think it's important that we have a good functioning test.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you. All right, finance did not meet, governance and policies did not meet. Parks and Recreation, we have a report.
Yep, so you've had this report now for a while. Just so you know that the volleyball court at Brookdale Park, we are going to be purchasing some items, the sleeve, the cord lines, the net, and a few miscellaneous things, but that's all within the budget, so it doesn't need to be approved. But just for information purposes, that's it.
Okay, got a motion to receive the report?
I would accept it.
Yeah, motion to accept the Parks and Rec report.
Seconder?
Second.
Any questions?
I can't remember what a bazooka sleeve is. So, and I noticed it's the expensive component of it, so I thought, what is that? Is that around the edges?
No, that's the part that's on holds the net.
Oh, on the
So-
hole.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you.
I think they call it a volleyball net sleeve.
I know, right? Bazooka.
It looks like a bazooka, that's what.
All right, any other questions or comments? All those in favor of accepting the Parks and Recreation report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you again. Okay. Moving on to item 15, clerk treasurer report.
Okay, so there's a few items in my treasurer's report. We had, when we were doing the work at the Ralph Gorman Park with the expansion and stuff, it was the perfect time for us to move some of that place structures over to our new area and to get it away from the parking lot, which would be safer for the children. So that cost with culverts, new pea gravel, moving it, the new sonotubes, the new sonotubes and stuff for the play structures. It came in at $8,245.50, including HST, and that will be paid through the Canada Community Building Fund, which is our gas tax fund, so it doesn't come out of our general operating budget. Our next one, we did the solar array project on our roof, and we received funding for it. However, I'm not sure how long it's going to take to get our funding in, so I'd like to do a transfer of $74,194 from our capital reserves to our general operating, just until we get those grant funds, and then we'll transfer it back again. So that's about it. The HST remittance for July to September, I'll be remitting that this week. We should have a fairly good remittance because we've done so many projects and stuff this summer. The Municipal Reform Advisory Group and the Hamel Council have met a couple of times to review the 2023 general operating budgets. Assessments this year have been increased for many, and the committee and council is taking this very seriously in their consideration of the budget. This year we've had many changes in services due to reform, and most are mandated from the province, which is an additional cost to the municipality and our taxpayers. And we are just waiting for a few numbers to come from the province, and then the budget will be forwarded to the Minister of Environment and Local Government for adoption. So I sent out the revised budget that I did this weekend, and if you guys have any questions on that, just give me a call. But I should, excuse me, by next week probably have all the numbers from the province, and then I'll do one last revision and get them all out to you guys. And if you'd like to have one more meeting just to kind of review it and make sure that we've got everything in there that we want, then I'm sure that the facilitator will allow it, as long as the advisory committee can join us as well. So I have 3 motions. Treasurer's report.
Okay, can I get a motion for number 1? 15-1.
This one here, for Eugene Henry.
Yes.
Okay. I move to accept the payment to Eugene Henry in the amount of $8,245.15, including HST, through the Canada Community Building Fund, number 01234-1996524.
I'll second it.
Any questions?
I do. So we budgeted this for $25,000. Is this saying that we went over 8,000, or remember we did the motion for the filling the thing, and he was going to put in the?
Yeah, but this
The
was
stuff.
for the park. This is
No.
different from the pond thing.
So this is extra and above.
This was extra because we asked for extra additional. We wanted that playground, like the moving of the playground equipment and all that stuff was not part of that quote, but we just figured while all of the trucks and the equipment was all down there, and we needed it moved closer to the other playground and stuff.
Some of the extras they did were basically moving the playground equipment from the south side to the north side, getting it out of the parking lot. They had it in, they tore down this wood structure that was there surrounding it. They installed in the new area, which is moving the concrete monuments and whatnot. They also installed a culvert, extra long culvert to give people access to the parking lot. We're still probably going to have to put, although they did put some rocks around, we may have to put a guardrail just to keep, we don't want people driving into that ditch between the two, although the other one is cut off. But there's still a possibility, we're going to look into that anyway, maybe put up a barrier there. They also put a whole lot of pea gravel in on the north side where the new structures went. They had to put a lot of pea gravel in, they put 2 loads in, and that comes from way down St. Stephen. They also gravelled the new parking lot and put crushed rock on it. They also installed a bunch of rocks, big, 2.5, 3 foot rocks around the perimeter of the playground, again to keep traffic out. So they did a whole lot more than what was in the first contract on actually filling the pond up and draining it. So while they were there, it was a good time to get them done rather than putting out another tender. It would end up costing us a lot more.
So a quick question on that then, because it was over the $5,000 which you're able to authorize, should we not have had a special meeting to authorize the $8,000?
Well, it kind of grew from putting the culvert in, which was good, and then it went on to that to move the playground, and then put the gravel in, put the pea gravel in. So it was kept coming one contract after another after another. So that's the total of several different jobs that he did while he was there.
Okay, but once it went over 5,000, should council not have had a meeting
We had
to
this.
approve it? No, but we did not approve any budget.
We didn't
or
approve
amount.
an amount, but it's also budgeted, like through our gas tax and community building fund, you have money set aside for parks and playgrounds.
So we don't have to be in control.
But we still, council should still budget for it though, or council should still have actually approved it, right?
Well, there was time, sometimes there's like a time crunch as well, I mean.
But couldn't we have done it by proxy then? Couldn't we send an email around to all of council and then we could have said, okay, yeah, sure, we can do this because I know time is of the essence and we do have the funding for it or that kind of thing rather than just
Yeah.
2 of you doing it and approving it without the approval of council.
It could have.
We discussed this, but.
Not money-wise, I would say.
The same situation happened with the Veterans Memorial when I said, you got my proxy because it seems like we're already in it. You fellas, you stated that you already have permission from Councillor Heislip and Councillor Jonah. That's not a way to govern. It's not the rules. The rules literally state, as you have noted here, $5,000 required to council approved by council approval.
Yeah, but again, it was one thing to do. We could have backed it off. I'm sure it would have cost us more money to go out and get an estimate from another company to move that playground equipment over from the parking lot over to the north side. That had to be moved because you couldn't leave it there. I mean, it's with cars coming in and other. That's now a parking lot. So either you have the parking lot or you don't. So you can't have a play structure in the middle of the parking lot. So that got into children's safety, so it had to be looked at and done. Yes, it could have stopped the construction on it and went to council and had a meeting, but he may have been out of there by then, so I think it would end up costing us a lot more to do it. I mean, they looked after taking it out, taking it apart, and replanning it, and then the rest was basically aesthetics to make it look pretty. Councillor McKenzie.
If I may, it seems to me this is just an operational cost and we're approving it after operations had to be done. It's not like we're a major thing that in capital expenses that needed to be budgeted for. It's operational. That's one of the things that staff have to have some kind of leniency on, and why we're approving it afterwards is because it's over the $5,000 limit. This has happened many times before. It's nothing unusual about it. It happens in cities all the time. It's nothing specific to us. Operational costs sometimes go higher than expected for things, and then council needs to approve it. That's part of our purchasing policy, right? It's not a law, it's policy.
Councillor Upton.
But part of our purchasing policy says after, we increased it to 5,000 because of said events, because the clerk needs room. I'd argue if stuff like this goes on in the future, by all means just emails, you should have kind of a proxy. I'm not disagreeing that it probably needs to get done. I'd have to look at the old one to see what we were told. I'm sure you fellas have it. I'm sure you made the right decision. But there's rules and policies and stuff for a reason, and I just wanna make sure we're following them.
Yep.
Perhaps we should be looking at raising that amount, $5,000 is not very much for.
No, not in today's cost.
The projects that we have going now.
Yeah, like it cost $7,000 just to do the, get the electrical put over to the monument.
Yeah, I agree, we should probably revisit that at some point. As we're getting into bigger projects and more things, that was fine, numbers when we weren't really doing anything. Now we have a lot of operations going, we have multiple park structures, we have more staff, we have a lot more things that require stuff like this that will come up with staff that have to be able to make the decisions and not stop processes in the middle of them happening, right? So maybe I agree with Deputy Mayor that at some point, probably in the new year, once all the reform stuff is done, we get the governance committee to meet again and have a discussion with council about what we think that new target maybe should probably be.
I would agree with that we need to revisit it, right? But in the meantime, we need to stick with what we're doing. That was my only
Fair
feedback.
And, sorry, 5,000, as per our purchasing policy, only non-budgeted payments over 5,000 require council's approval. And really, this is budgeted. It's in our gas tax fund, so it is budgeted. You have set out an amount that is for parks and
Fair enough, good.
playgrounds, so
And it is in our budget, and I can look it up when I get home.
in the gas tax?
So the gas tax is what you folks want to use it for, we don't have to be involved. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Absolutely. No, I'm sorry, Councillor Sefton, I have involved council in everything that I do.
Except this.
I'm sure that we discussed that we were thinking of moving that playground structure.
Oh, we certainly did discuss that, but we didn't attach a monetary amount to
And we
it.
discussed it during the
Yes.
last one we budgeted for, where he was gonna make a parking lot over there. I get overruns, that's not my issue. But there's rules for a reason. and
But like our clerk said, if we discussed it, there's gonna be a monetary amount tied to it. You can't move it for nothing. No one's gonna do it for free.
No, the
Fair.
point is that we didn't say it's gonna cost $8,000, council, we need to approve this. It was more than the 5,000, so we should have approved. We should have met or had an email or something that council was going to approve it, right? The gas tax fund, yes, we have money in the gas tax fund to do this, for sure. But I think council, as a whole, is supposed to, that's the business of council. It's to approve budget, it's to approve funding, it's to approve the money spent, right? So if it's gone over the 5,000, then we should have had.
The problem is that it didn't start there. It started with a little project, then said, well, you're gonna do this, you may as well do this. So, you know, we moved it, then we needed to buy pea gravel. That was another part, and then we had to buy gravel for the parking lot, and then we had to buy rocks to protect it. We had to put a culvert in, so it all.
I know it seems like it kind of snowballed. But
Yeah,
at the
it did
s-
snowball.
At the same token though, that could be said of any project. You were working on a project and all of a sudden, oh, it's gonna cost another 10 for this. Oh, we really need to do that, it's gonna cost another 20. We
Yep.
do, council needs to approve the expenditures. That's all I'm saying. If
Yep,
it's over. and
point
above a
taken.
certain amount.
All right, any other questions, concerns? So, we have a motion on the floor, which was the one for Eugene Henry, discussed. Okay, to call for the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded?
Nay.
Okay, thank you. Well, make note. All right, next motion is to transfer do a transfer from general operating reserve to the general operating fund. Do I have a motion, please?
Can you read that too?
Yep.
I move to transfer $74,194 from the General Capital Reserve Fund, number 01234-1196639, to the General Operating Fund, number 01234-1124259, to cover the cost of the solar array system installed by Clear Power Solutions until our grant funding is received.
Do I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Okay, any questions?
I do. This is excuse my ignorance on this one. we have to authorize that from reserve too?
Absolutely.
So that has to be done
Those
with us?
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reserve, anything to do with any of our reserves has to have a motion.
Or any transfers for, between accounts,
Yeah.
basically at all.
Oh, okay, sorry, I was wondering why we had to do that, because we authorized it before. And so you don't figure we have enough sitting in our operating fund, or you figure it's gonna be too long before they end up paying us?
I think it's gonna be very close or whatever, so we're, I just like to
Very good.
have
No,
it
no.
transferred.
I
And then
trust your
we'll
judgment.
probably at the next council meeting, we'll probably have it and then we'll transfer it back.
And do we have to transfer back as a motion, sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime we do a transfer between accounts, we need a motion.
Thank you.
Again, it's schematics, right?
Thank you.
We're reasonably confident we'll get it before the end of the quarter?
Oh, I think we'll have it within the next few weeks. I
Okay.
just,
Yeah, okay, here.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All those in favor of the transfer, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded. Motion carried, thank you.
I'll
Now,
move to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
I'll second that.
any questions? All those in favor of accepting the treasurer's report as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded. Motion carried, thank you. All right, moving on to old or unfinished business.
okay.
Anything new on the accessibility trail?
No, so the accessibility trail is now complete. The ribbon cutting ceremony was held October the 11th. And we received a grant from ACOA in the amount of $300,000. It was determined that we should cut back about 10 feet of that trail from Nature Park Drive. We actually had a plowing company that was doing some work down below us, was parked there and did some damage on that because it goes right to the road. So it made us think that every time the snowplow comes up, they're probably going to catch that as well. So we're thinking maybe the first little part of it, we should put in just the crushed rock and then start.
Basically move the end of the rubberized surface in about 10 feet from the road.
Possibly.
Could we not pave it that first 10 feet then? Because to
Especially
be
if it's
honest,
going
if
to
it's an accessibility trail, the crusher dust makes it much more difficult.
They're coming up to the court anyway, what a great time.
Yeah, it's an idea.
Good, or why don't you just leave it and see what happens? I mean, those road, that pavement is meant to be used on driveways too, which are obviously gonna plow into.
Leave it until next spring and see how we make it over the
Maybe do
winter.
another
Yeah,
pavement thing.
because it's already damaged where the gravel truck rolled over it.
That's a fair point.
And, but, hey, like I said,
May not, but at least you'll know.
we'll know by the end of the winter how much of it gets damaged, and we'll have a better idea how much to
And we
cut
can
back.
cut it.
Yeah,
and pave it.
exactly. Yeah, perfect.
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah, makes
I
sense.
did drive in there the other night to put stuff, it was very dark, in the little yeah, the little book library, because I thought it was dark. So I just pulled in, but it was fine when I pulled in, pulled out. so it
Yeah,
was
but
fine.
you're not driving a 30-ton.
No, I'm not, it was good, it was all good.
Okay, so like I said, we'll just table that until further notice.
Sounds good.
Makes sense, so it's going to be an issue down the road, I think, so.
Well, and then if it is, then we can, like you say, cut 10 feet
Yeah.
and maybe pave it, it would be better, I think, than crusher dust.
So the recreation building, which is the church, there's been no action or decision made on this project. So the multi-purpose hard surface, they have regraded it. They're going to pave it tomorrow. I asked if anybody had any thoughts, and I only received one comment, so please let me know if I am to notify. I have to notify them after the council meeting tonight.
I apologize, I did check, it looks great to me, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I did too.
Does look nice and level finally.
It
It's
does.
finally level, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's finally level.
It's going to cost a fair amount of money to redo those trails and stuff again and have the grounds sloped on the sides. So I actually got Turf Works that is doing the Vet Memorial landscaping. I got them to look at it to see what they would recommend. He said they could feather it down because it's high on one side and lower on the other. Feather it down and sod it. But he said by doing that, because it is up so high, that we're probably going to have to move our trails over some. So there has been some damage to the ones in front of the bridge. That's really narrowed up that area as well. So I talked to the contractor that put them down, and he's going to come over and look at it, and that is going to be something. So if you guys don't want me to kind of approve for it to be fixed, then I'll have to have another special meeting of council probably next week.
Just curious what damaged the area in front of the bridge there?
In the bridge, it just narrowed it because this came out on a slope, like
As
it's
they
up.
built up 2
Right.
feet, we had an overflow of material
So it
down,
comes
so it's cutting the width of that trail down. And on the end, it's so much higher, it's probably a good 2 feet higher at that end. And again, you've got a big overflow of crushed rock and whatnot, it's gonna go down, cutting that trail by probably 2/3. So the trail's gonna have to be,
Yeah.
actually moved over another
Why?
6 or 7 feet or whatnot into the grassy area.
I thought the contractor that was doing the trail was gonna wait until that was done anyway.
No, 'cause it was done and
The trail
then-
was done before the
No.
multi-surface was put
They
in.
came, they showed up the next day during that storm and finished it.
Yeah.
I happened to be here and was like, I thought this was gonna wait. And they got here bright and early and knocked it out.
Sorry, who?
Yeah, TMC.
Yeah, but the trails, like the multi-purpose surface, we thought was done, right? And then you guys decided that you didn't
No,
like
you
the
were
slope.
gonna reach out to get them to hold off. Timings didn't work out.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
what I
hold
thought.
off. I don't blame anybody on this one. They just happened to show up by Friday. It was all done. We said, asked for it to slow down on Wednesday. We're gonna be putting fence around that, aren't we?
Yes.
So, I get that we're gonna have to adjust a bit, but you're not worried about people falling off or anything like that.
But what?
You're not worried about people falling off the edges or anything like that with the fence. You're just looking to make sure we widen it for the trail. Is that what you're
Well,
talking
you
about?
don't want to have a big steep drop.
Right, you'll have to put some rock
Gradually,
in there.
gradually bring it out into a finished edge. Right?
I'd argue it would have to be changed, would have to pay to get that fixed anyway, where it's now raised, unfortunately,
Yeah.
to do it, so. Maybe
So-
we can make a motion to authorize a certain amount now, up to an amount, and that way if you need to have it.
Can we do that now? What's that on the agenda? What's part of on the agenda is older unfinished business. Yeah. So we can get a motion to expend the money necessary to fix
I
the slope
move-
area.
I move to authorize, should I wait till council?
Yes.
Yes.
Was there any more questions, so I didn't need to do that?
No, or any other questions, concerns while we're at it? So we'll get Councillor Septon to make a
So I'm
motion.
going to make a motion so that there's money if the clerk needs to fix it. I move and authorize the clerk to spend up to $25,000 plus HST to repair the trail around the multipurpose court.
I'll second it.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions, comments?
Don't we usually get a quote first, isn't this kind of an unusual way, but
Well, she will get quotes, but
She'll
she's
have to
going to be
get quotes.
authorized to spend up to $25,000.
But the company that did it would most likely be the company that we're gonna contact to
Yeah,
do it, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I would definitely get the same company to.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That way it's all covered by their warranty.
Yeah. So, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded. Motion carried, thank you. Okay. Where? Yeah, or Councillor McKenzie.
Okay, so the next one is the solar array system, so the project is completed. I had said in the report, we're waiting for inspection from NB Power. We're one of the first companies to install this large of a system on the smart meters. They actually contacted me yesterday and they said they are fine with it, so Clear Power is coming this week to do the little adjustment thing, and then we're ready to go. We're going to take one of those tablets that we got the grant funding for a couple of years ago, and we will, I think we're gonna put the program on the tablet so that we can have it at the front, so we can show our residents like how much power we're actually
Kudos.
saving and stuff like that. It will also be on my phone, so it will alert me if anything goes wrong, just what I need is another alert on my phone if anything goes wrong.
It's called the kiosk mode, so maybe when Stuart's setting it up, whatever, just ask him for the tablet, just tell him to put it in kiosk
Kiosk
mode.
mode. And it's also going to be on Dan, our facility officer's phone as well. And then that one can come off of our list. So the playground, or the Ralph Gorman playground, I said the project is completed. We have received so many nice compliments. And I was speaking to Mr. and Mrs. Gorman's granddaughter the other day, and she said that the family is so pleased with the work that we did. I mentioned to her that we would be having a ribbon cutting ceremony, and she said, like, to make sure that they are aware, because they will definitely be there, which I told them that we would. Do you want to have that in the next few weeks, or wait until spring when we have picnic tables and stuff there?
My preference would be spring.
I agree.
Me too.
We received a concern from residents saying she's worried that people are going to slide off the road or drive into the ditch between the two culverts that we put in. We have large boulders in front of the ditch, but they're placed like on the other side, so it's where the picnic table, or picnic tables, the,
Porta potty. Porta potty.
Porta potty is
yes.
the distance between those two culverts.
And anyway, so she thinks that maybe once snow gets in there that people are gonna not notice. So this is what the mayor was talking about, that maybe we should just go to Princess Auto, get a small piece of guardrail and just put there.
So I had brought this up the last time because of the culvert, that there was going to be a safety concern with the way that is. Although, are you talking about putting a guardrail like road, shoulder, ditch? Is that what you're
Road,
thinking?
shoulder, guardrail, ditch.
Right.
Yep.
So DTI though would have to approve that.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, we'd have to get permission from DDI.
So you put a 10-foot guardrail?
Enough to cover the distance between the ends of the culverts.
So is her concern that they're going to come off the road that way, or is her concern that when they're coming out of the parking lot, they're going to go into the culvert?
They can't come out because it's all.
Oh, yes, you can.
You can't get through the rocks. There's rocks all around.
No, not by in front of the ditch. So there's by the culvert, like the rocks go here.
Yeah.
If you want to put a rock there, then they won't be going into the ditch.
Right.
But they could come into the ditch this way. Like
There's still enough room. I thought the
Yeah,
rocks. So
no,
one of those
there's
rocks.
Probably because we moved that porta potty.
Plenty of
Is
room.
that
There's lots of room to go into the ditch. There.
So move a rock or
Yeah,
add another
just
rock.
move it
Add
down
the
or
rock
add
or
one,
move
yeah.
wood, yeah,
Yeah.
I would say.
Because you wouldn't need those rocks on the other side of that ditch if we put in that culvert.
Right.
Or put in the
The
guardrail.
guardrail.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we could use one of those to move it around.
So we just need to contact DTI and get approval?
Yes, we'd have to somehow get permission. That may take a while.
If you move the rock down a little, but we gotta put the snow guards up so people know that it's there, but the plow won't hit it,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
hurt themselves.
Even with markers on the end of the culverts for the time being.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we had to put a ribbon between the markers or something that people could see.
But if you move the rocks down and put that thing up for the snow, I think it'll look good.
So
Yeah.
you're okay if we decide that we can put in the guardrail? You're okay with it? Okay. All right, so the Veterans Memorial Monument project is 90% completed. The stone pavers have been installed, and if you get a chance, go down and look at it. So the center of the monument, it's 18 feet on each side that is got the pavers on them, so it looks really nice. It was going to be installed this week. I've asked them if they will keep it tarped, and if we install it this week, keep it tarped until after Halloween. I'm scared to death that something might happen to it at Halloween. The artist said if he can make arrangements with the boom truck, they will wait until next Tuesday or Wednesday after Halloween to install that. So service and the reception are being planned. Kingsclear is very pleased that we're doing this service this year, and Rick Hunter has been working with Sherry and I and Councillor Fox, and we have another meeting this week, so,
So we'll be having it here.
yes. So that is your update on
What are
those
on
projects.
Okay, moving on to number 17, new business. We have item A, the bylaw 26, 2022. That's the bylaw respecting the Kingsclear Fire Department. We need first reading by title. Councillor McKenzie, can you go ahead?
Sure. A bylaw number 26-2022, a bylaw representing Upper Kingsclear Fire Department. We're going to rename it, right? Yeah. First reading by title. I move that bylaw number 26-2022, a bylaw representing Upper Kingsclear Fire Department, be given its first reading by title.
Seconder? Questions, comments? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you.
Bylaw number 26-2022, a bylaw representing the Upper Kingsclear Fire Department.
Upper Kingsland, Hanwell.
Nope.
No.
Just
No.
Upper.
Upper Kingsclear.
I was just respecting our representative.
No, doesn't have to.
Okay, so item B is the resignation of Councillor for Ward 4. I'll pass it over to Terry for an update.
Sure, so we received the resignation from Councillor Morgan McPherson of Ward 4. Unfortunately, it is too late that we're going to be able to fill this position during this election. I contacted the Elections New Brunswick. They said typically they have by-elections every 6 months because there's always vacancies. So our seat is going to be vacant until probably at least May of 2023. So I have two motions. One, I need you to accept her resignation, and then the next one, we will need to declare her seat vacant, and I will forward that to Elections New Brunswick so they have it for whenever there's another by-election called.
Okay, so be it resolved to accept Morgan McPherson's resignation from her position as councillor for Ward 4.
Seconded.
Okay, any questions, comments? All those in
I think
favor?
She was a good voice. She's going to be missed by Ward 4.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Sutton. So all those in favor of accepting Councillor McPherson's resignation from her position as Councillor for Ward 4, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you.
And be resolved to declare Hamel as Ward 4 seat vacant, and that notice shall be given through the clerk of Elections New Brunswick.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor to declare Hamlet's Ward 4 seat vacant, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you, Council. Now we have item C, is the pumping contests, the draw. Can we get a member of the public to make the draw possibly, or have we made it already? Okay. Can I get a volunteer from our public audience to make the draw?
You want to do it? Okay. The first one's for Nicholson's.
You might want to explain what it is.
Yeah, this is our Get Pump contest that we have annually. So we encourage by running a contest for people to get their septic tank pumped. So again, hopefully it initiates them to look at that and say, well, I could get a pump or not, but if I get a pump now and enter the contest, I may get it for free. So that's what it's all about. We've been doing this for a few years now.
So this one's for who?
This is Nicholas. And the winner is Drew Sullivan, I think. Yeah. I'm not receiving Drew Sullivan. He's at 38 Sandstone Drive in Wellington.
No.
No.
No address.
No address.
Nope.
Oh, okay. So strike the address.
Okay.
So Drew Sullivan, that's the guy.
Okay, so the next one is for Ready John. Over this corner.
text in the paper is appropriate?
Pardon?
Sorry, it's a lowbrow joke.
Okay, this is the customer name, Aaron Pellerin, Pellerin, P-E-L-E-R-I-N-E, if I got the pronunciation correct.
Can I just see that?
And the last one is Let's In. We had one entry, so they're the winner.
Yeah.
There we go. And that's David Chamberlain. And please note that the mayor had his pump, but he didn't enter the contest.
Okay, then all of them go back in for hours.
Oh, right. Can I have them back? No, not those ones.
How appropriate to have a pumpkin box to draw the names from. Much better than septic tank. Much better than septic tank.
So I'm not the only one with the lowbrow comments.
And the winner is Jeremy Harding. Okay, so item 18 is the upcoming activities. Zoomers October 20th at 12 p.m., Zoomers October 21st at 12 p.m. Spook Fest we've already had, obviously I'm reading some in the past. And that was a rounding success, by the way, so special thanks to Councillor Shepton and Councillor Heislip. They did an absolutely amazing job. Certainly one of the biggest events we ever put on, and probably the most well attended of any event we ever put on. So, round of applause for these guys. And an extra special thanks to the volunteers. I did a rough count when we met in the kitchen there. There's over 30 anyway. And a lot of young people, which was really nice to see, because usually the volunteer groups are 40 and over. This volunteer group had a lot of, I'm not good at estimating ages, but late teens, early 20s. So that was really nice to see. So it was Zoomers on October 25th at 12 p.m., Zoomers October 27th at 12 p.m., Zoomers November 1st at 12 p.m., Zoomers November 3rd at 12 p.m., Communications Committee meeting November 7th at 5:30 p.m., Parks and Recreation Committee meeting November 8th at 7 p.m., Zoomers on November 10th at 12, November 11th at 12, and November 15th at 12.
Where do the Zoomers meet?
Right here in the,
That's November
hall.
11th is Remembrance Day.
Yeah.
But it's at 12 p.m. So we should be,
10th and 15th is
10th
what
and
I have.
But we should add November
We're
11th to
having
the
reception
list.
after.
oh,
What
okay.
sheet does he have?
I
No, it's, no.
No,
There you go.
No.
I don't have
No,
it.
it's not here. I don't have that
there's,
sheet.
there's an updated sheet.
November 10th, 11th, and 15th, you can't.
Upcoming activities, what do you think?
You must have
On the
canceled
agenda
the 15th.
itself.
Oh, it's on the agenda.
Yeah. The Zoomers sure do get around.
Yes, they certainly do.
It's a fantastic exercise program.
But we should check.
So we're gonna have to-
No, they're not here on the 11th.
Okay, so strike that one from the list.
No, it's
Good
next
help, it's
agenda.
hard to find.
Another little comment.
I'm leaving that one in for you.
All right, folks, that wraps things up for tonight. We're going to move into closed session now, so I certainly want to thank you folks for attending. As usual, we enjoy your presence, and we encourage anybody to attend any of our meetings at any time. Thank you very much. Okay, so we need a motion to move into closed session.
I move to move into closed session.
Seconder?
Well, second.
Okay, so we are now in closed session.
All those in favor?
All those in favor of moving into closed session, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Okay, so we need a motion to come out of closed session.
I move to come out of closed session.
Seconder?
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor of coming out of closed session, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried.
Motion to extend the meeting past 9 p.m.
Second.
All those in favor of extending the motion, meeting past 9 p.m., please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Motion to move back into closed session.
I move that we move back into closed session.
I'll second it.
Any questions? All those in favor of moving back into closed session, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried. We are now back in closed session.
Motion to go back in open session.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried. We are now back in open session. Okay, so we're looking for a motion for snow removal.
Be it resolved that the contract for snow removal for Hanwell Place be awarded to TMC and Associates Limited in the amount of $20,325 plus HST for the period of November 1st, 2022 to April 30th, 2023.
I second it.
Okay, any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you. Next one on snow removal for the fire station.
Be it resolved that the contract for snow removal for the Hanwell Fire Station be awarded to TMC and Associates Limited in the amount of $13,500 plus HST for the period of November 1st, 2022 to April 30th, 2023.
Seconder,
I'll second.
questions? All those in favor of awarding the contract to TMC and Associates Limited for removal of the snow at the Hamel Fire Station, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you. So item 2, motion would be the lawn repairs for Vet Memorial Monument Electric Conduit.
I saw that.
Now, whereas electric conduit was required for the Vet Memorial Monument, and whereas the area had to be repaired before the paving stones were installed, and whereas approval had to be granted before the next council meeting, and whereas the estimate was discussed with the mayor, be it resolved to accept the quote from Turfworks Landscape and Design to install topsoil and sod to repair machine damage to lawn that was caused from the installation of electrical conduit in the amount of $7,200 plus HST to be paid from the Canada Community Building Fund.
Seconder,
I'll second.
any questions, comments?
Just want to point out that I did proxy yes to this, so I'll be voting positive.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you. Item 3, additional landscaping around Vet Memorial Monument. I need a motion, please.
I move to accept the estimate dated October 20th, 2022 from Turfworks Landscape and Design to grade topsoil and sod approximately 300 square feet of area between the landscaping stones and the existing concrete walkway in the amount of $800 plus HST.
I'll
Second.
second it.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor of additional landscaping around the Vet Memorial Monument, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you. Item 3B, we did a motion, this is on the exterior of Hamel Place?
I move to authorize and direct the clerk to contact our legal team to discuss options regarding the building exterior of Hanwell Place.
I'll second it.
Any questions, comments?
As long as you get it done.
All those in favor of contacting our legal team to discuss the options to regard the building exterior of Hamel Place, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded?
Nay.
Motion carried. We have one nay. No track of that. Okay. I'm thinking, council, if I haven't missed anything, I think that wraps up our meeting for tonight. So I need a motion to adjourn.
I'm going to be adjourned.
Second.